Yo, what's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a first commander tier list, but I'm not going to be doing like on personal preference. I'm going to be doing on strength. So for Rayleigh, he's basically stated in a French data book. Here goes the actual scan, and then this is the translation. It says Kizaru tries to finish off Zoro, but Rayleigh uses his offensive fluid to stop his lasers. Offensive fluid is basically just hockey in general. So he uses his hockey to stop Kizaru's lasers. The Dark Lord is thus none of his strength. So this would mean that Rayleigh is just in prime. This would also make sense because old gen equals new gen through narrative and whatnot. So why would a right-hand man not be equal to like a strong admiral? It doesn't make much sense. So this would be a strong Rayleigh or prime Rayleigh for the most part, except for stamina. And also he's fighting with Kizaru, and he's using swords. But as the fight goes on, like he is relative in AP. As the fight goes on, Rayleigh starts sweating after like 5 minutes of fighting, and Kizaru's chilling. Yes, he did manage to like swipe Kizaru, which does give us a testament to his AP. But overall, Rayleigh, we can only scale him relative to like Kizaru for like 5 minutes, and then after he starts falling off, he's like tired after. The dude's sweating after 5 minutes. Alkainu and Whitebird were fighting throughout a whole war, and they never started sweating until the very end. So I would say like a C tier. We'll see where we put the other people. Now for King, so we know King and Zoro are fighting like borderline relative right now, and you can make an argument that like King is winning, so you could put King over Zoro, but for me I think it's like a narrative thing. But he's lowball relative to Zoro, so I think because Zoro is a really strong fighter, he has feats against Kaido and whatnot. Because he's relative to Zoro, I would put him above Rayleigh because his AP is like strong enough to hold off against Rayleigh for long enough until he just gets tired. So I would give King the advantage there. But let's continue. I think Rayleigh might be a little too high. I'd probably put him at D. But not because he's like the weakest here. But yeah, Zoro. Zoro was dogging on Kaido. Not dogging, but he was like cutting him. He made the man bleed. He was like a general, actual threat against Kaido. Like Big Mom's like, watch out, Kaido, and all that. He consistently damages Kaido on multiple occasions. You can argue he tanked his attack for like 5 seconds, or like upskill his AP and durability. But at the end of the day, he has feats on Kaido. He's like relative speed wise. You can argue, he has high enough AP to damage him. And this is like pre Conqueror's coding buff, and whatnot. So at the end of the day, he would be, I would say like A tier. He is really strong. Gotta stop sleeping on a man. Now let's continue. Beckman, he's quite literally stated right here, he's incredibly powerful in terms of physical combat. His card even says that he's comparable to Red Hairs. My bad. His card even says that comparable to Red Hairs. What the fuck type of translation is this? Red Hairs. This man's existence is feared by even the powerful warriors of the New World. It's unclear if existence refers to power, authority, or whatever else. So take this with a grain of salt. It's just referring to him being feared by other top tiers, but he is still comparable to Red Hair. And also stated his crew as the like most relative bounties, or like they're all like super relative to each other. It also says his physical combat is incredible, comparable to even Red Hairs. This man's existence is feared by even top warriors of the New World. So this would put Beckman relative to Shanks. So I think that because Shanks, in my opinion, is over Kaido, you can argue like let's say you argue Luffy skills relative to Kaido. It would be a weakened Kaido, and he skills relative to Kaido, who's like 14 on my list, and then Shanks is like 12. So because Beckman skills relative, he'd still be above Luffy. But let's continue. So for Sabo, he was fighting with Fuji during Dressrosa on kind of like an even footing. The thing is that Fuji couldn't really pull down meteors because of the bird cage. He also wasn't really using Haki until the last half of the fight. But for Sabo, you can also argue that he's not very well trained with the fruit because he just got it. And he didn't use his special move, the Dragon Claw, which is like his specialty move. He used it in the arena. So they're both holding back. So you can like low-key put them relative. And also what happened at the Reverie with like Sabo apparently injuring Fuji. Honestly, I think that you could probably put Sabo like real talk. I might be originally when I started this video, I was planning on putting him like at C or some shit, but like, dude, he's strong. I might be sleeping on the man. Fuck it, I think narrative-wise he would be A. You know, the right hand to like arguably like the strongest person in the show narrative-wise. Like, not the right hand, but like, you know, the first person in his army. He's got to be strong. You know, he's trained by the dude for years. I'll put him A. Fuck it, why not? Now for Marco, it stated that he faced the admirals on equal footing and blocked Kizaru's attacks. May also be implied to have mastered armament haki, as it says it has no secrets for him. But yeah, it basically says he fought on equal footing. Now, I think this is referring... There's a lot of refutations for this, and I might make a full video on why I think Marco doesn't skill the admirals. But, first of all, like, people like using this to show, like, Marco and Admiral were, like, clashing relatively. But, like, why would Kizaru turn into his light form after he gets kicked? Like, it's clear he just wanted to fly into the wall. On top of that, after he flew into the wall, he had, like, no damages, and he didn't care. He was also, like, kind of saying to Marco that, like, his attacks weren't doing shit to him. So this kick did absolutely no damage to Kizaru. On top of that, he also doesn't scale to his speed here because he came from an unknown origin to block these attacks from an unknown distance. So he wouldn't necessarily scale speed-wise. Now, for durability, we have this clip, which is only in the anime, but anime canon is used to extrapolate on like panels like in between and give us more details on the events. And it would be very useful in this case because in the manga, we see that Marco like blocks him in the next scan, like it's all done. But in the anime, it extrapolates on it further. And we get to see this whole scene where like he's about to go kill Luffy and then Marco comes and blocks him. And you could also say that like Alkainu was aiming at Luffy, so his power overall is going to be weaker. And this is further backed up by what's about to happen in this scene. So we see right here like Marco's kind of holding him off. And then Alkainu kind of puts more power into it, showing that like his original attack wasn't full power. And he starts overpowering him. It showed it a little right there, but it's about to show it even more. You know, they're talking a lot. And then, God, he ran like a... he was running like a dumbass. But, damn, this is a long-ass fucking clip. Shit. Thank God I fast-forwarded it. But, like, right here, he overpowers him. So, like, at the end of the day... I think he's realistically skills relative durability-wise, but not speed-wise. This is further backed up whenever Marco and Vista, first of all, they're both displayed to be relative in speed. And Kizaru blitzed on Whitebeard, who was relative to Alkainu. So this means, like in speed, so this means that if Marco was relative to Kizaru, he would have to like be able to like significantly outpace Alkainu in general. And in this scene, we see Marco on the same level as Vista speed-wise. And when they go and cut Alkainu, they can't even damage the dude. So they kind of caught him off guard, and he still manages to form his attack around their body. And we know he does have future sight because he's like, oh, this is irritating. Haki users now. So they were using Haki. And of course, this is the scan of Kizaru completely blitzing Whitebeard. So he would scale like completely over. And this is Whitebeard sneak attacking too. On top of that, we have this guy again. Marco comes from an unknown origin to block lasers from like an unknown distance. Yeah, he doesn't scale to Kizaru's beams there. And this is just proof. This is just proof that Alkainu was like basically relative in speed. I think he would probably be a little faster to Whitebeard, but he's not blitzing him like Kizaru did. So Kizaru over in speed. So again, if Marco is faster or equal to Kizaru, he would have to be able to easily damage him here, and Alkainu wouldn't be able to reform around his attack. Now, let's look at this right here. We also see really bad scan. It's really small. But we also see, like, Big Mom just straight blitz the dude and, like, grab his neck. So a lot of people are trying to argue, like, what's his name? Does it make it smaller? I think it does. But a lot of people are trying to argue like, oh, Marco's relative to the Admirals, especially Kizaru, and Big Mom blitzes them, so this means that the Yonkos are just in general faster. This isn't like a good way of scaling. And also, this is him clashing. Oh, no, this is like the full scan of the blitz. My bad. Or not the full scan, this is the first scan. That's the second one. And he holds him there for Paris Barrow to shoot. And yeah, that's where Marco ranks. I would say that like, due to him being able to stall a long fight, he would be able to beat Rayleigh. I don't think he'd be much stronger. Narrative-wise, I think Shiryu would be, like, up here. But because we don't have enough to prove that, I'll put him right here. And then Katakuri can be put like right here because I think it's very likely that a top tier would be able to like one-shot Kata because Luffy was doing severe damage with his attacks that like couldn't even scratch Kaido. So I think this is a fair rating. Sabo is the one that I switched on the spot. Like I think I had Sabo like this beforehand. I think I had it like this. But I think that this is valid. I'd probably put Sabo above, to be honest, because I don't see a valid reason why Sabo wouldn't scale to Fuji. So, as always, like the video, comment, subscribe, share. And if you want, you can post like a clip of this on your TikTok to prove why like Ben Beckman's like stronger than people think, or like maybe even why Marco doesn't scale to the Admirals. You know, help me out.